Here and now, in the 21st century, people of all ages, all over the world, are constantly searching for better ways to experience thrills, whether that be jumping from a plane or throwing themselves from a cliff into the ocean. However, although these practices are fairly well explored, accidents still do happen. These accidents are not as simple as a broken bone that can be easily corrected. In 2004, my uncle had a life-changing accident that has left him paralysed from the waist down. This short documentary will hopefully display the reality of what could happen if these experiences go wrong.
Back in 2004, me and two friends decided we'd go away on holiday to Tenerife. We flew out of Bristol Airport. Luckily, when we were in Bristol Airport, I picked up some travel insurance and we flew out to Tenerife on the Monday. I think we got there on the Monday night. On the Tuesday morning we got up, went down, we were playing a bit of ping pong and the boys suggested getting some breakfast. I thought it'd be a good idea to have a cool down in the pool first. I went round to the side of where the pool was and unbeknown to me the big pool was closed and everyone was gathered round the children's pool. I could see the top from sort of chest up of two girls as I came around the corner. I presumed they were stood up, so I dived in next to them, but instantly I hit the bottom and at that point I realised the girls must have been sat down, but I knew instantly I was paralysed. Luckily the two girls dragged me out. I just put my head round and said help, and they managed to drag me out, and from there on a Belgian fireman took control.
Stephen had broken his neck in 3 places when his head struck the pool floor. After being in a coma for 11 days, he was transported back to the UK via jet to receive treatment. His family were devastated to hear the news.
I was at home when I got this phone call. I was absolutely devastated when I got the news. I just couldn't believe it. Went numb really. Just thought, my gosh, this is life so changed, you know. So different it's going to be from now on, which he obviously didn't realise at the time because he was unconscious and that, and he was over in Tenerife, which was worse. Couldn't go and see him either. Had to wait till he came home.
It's like it takes over your life. I remember waking up in the morning and thinking about it, going to bed and thinking about it, and shedding lots of tears. But you can't change what's happened, and it takes over your life at the time, but everybody else's life is continuing as normal, and you think, how can this be? Like, everything in my world's turned upside down. I remember Steve saying that he went to have his cards read. This is long before the accident, and the tarot reader wouldn't read them, and that, and I think, gosh, that's really bizarre. Sorry.
I think I just vaguely remember being in a Spanish hospital. I was there for 11 days while they were waiting for a bed in intensive care in Frenchy in Bristol. And when that finally opened up, they flew me back. And I came to, I was in Frenchy. And at which point the nurse explained that I'd broke my neck, I was in a serious condition, I was going to be paralysed for life and I wouldn't work again.
Stephen requires 24-hour care, and without his carers, he can't even do the simplest tasks such as cooking, washing, and getting himself out of bed.
My home care, Leanne speaking.
Hi Leanne, it's Steve Gay here. I was wondering if you could...
Hello, Steve.
You don't know where my carer is today, do you?
Darling, everyone's running like an hour behind today. I've had a right day.
Have you?
They are coming, love. Yeah, they are coming.
They're on their way, are they?
Yeah, everyone's just running completely behind time, love. I'm sorry.
Alright Leanne, thank you very much for that.
Alright,
Yeah,
love.
I'll see
Sorry
someone
about
later.
that.
Alright then, sweetheart. All the best.
Speak to you soon, babe.
Ta-da, bye-bye.
Bye.
So for us, we come in and we keep an eye on how well his bowels are moving. If people who are paralysed get constipated, it can lead to real pain issues, obviously because he's unable to feel the pain. That can then send him into what is called a dysrexia response, which can be quite dangerous for Steve. So we basically keep on top of making sure that he has regular bowel movements and that is followed to a plan so that he can be as independent as he can. He's got a long-term suprapubic catheter, so we keep an eye on that, make sure that that's functioning well. At the moment, he's actually got a urinary tract infection, so it's a matter of keeping an eye on any symptoms, because again, the pain and other things he doesn't pick up on. But he's very good at knowing when something's not right. He prompted me today, so we'll then go ahead and take the management precautions for that so that we can get that sorted for him, really.
Although Stephen's situation is bad, it could have been a lot worse if he didn't have multiple insurance policies that covered him from accidents at work or on holiday.
His friend had already advised me that he took out travel insurance at the airport, and then I saw he had an accidental insurance. Now, he was a self-employed tradesman, and as a single man he had decided that an accident insurance costing £4.95 a month was worth having in case he fell and broke a leg or whatever and he was off work. And ultimately it was that accident insurance, when he was finally diagnosed as a tetraplegic, that paid out £275,000. So that accident insurance that he was paying £4.95 a month for ultimately has paid for his bungalow, which has been an absolute godsend.
With my insurance payout, I managed to buy the house, buy this car and get the conversions done. The car was £10,000 and I think I had £9,000 worth of hand control adaptions, and obviously it's got a ramp in it. The vehicle's lowered, so it sits lower down to the road. The ramp comes out the side, the electric door goes back. I've had the easy lock adaptions done on both seats so I can sit this side and that side. The easy locks are on both sides, so seat will swap to this side. I can sit that side. And if I press the release button, I can release myself. And when I go in, it locks me solid. Then I just apply my seatbelt there, and I'm ready to go. Without the vehicle, yeah, I certainly wouldn't get out the drive.
Although it is clear that Stephen's condition has stopped him being as independent as he once was, he has always loved being outside. Stephen still tries to keep up with his friends in multiple activities such as fishing and shooting.
I haven't flown anything this year so far, but I normally fly my stuff with a friend of mine, Steve Foster. We go down the sports field and fly some things. I go out fishing. I'll start going fishing in June. Hopefully the lads will take me out. And I'll have some good trips down at the mill, which is a disabled lake just for disabled anglers. I enjoy my model cars, take them over the road into the car park, but I can't use the field over the road because they fenced it all off. Yeah, we have to take the van now. I can't just trundle over the road, unfortunately. They've ruined it.
When Stephen's not out by the lake with his friends, he's down the local enjoying a nice cold beer with his friends, talking about old times and old memories.
I've taken him fishing a couple of times, but as I haven't got a clue what I'm doing with it, he's better off fishing with someone who knows what they're doing. You're just not used to seeing friends and loved ones like that, you know, in that sort of state. You can sort of, if someone had phoned and said Steve was dead, then you'd always have this picture of the last time you saw Steve, do you know what I mean? But then, see him like that, it's just, you just don't. Steve's always been a strong, capable, can-do sort of person, and he couldn't do anything. Yeah, it was just such a complete difference to everything I knew and loved about Steve. It was just completely gone.
Despite Stephen's injuries, his outlook on life is always positive. It has not been known by anyone for Stephen to have a down day.
Stephen was quite a wild young man. He was quite carefree. He was full of wanting to have a laugh and a joke, but had a great sense of humour and had a great group of friends. And I would say that now we still see he has that same great group of friends, which is absolutely marvellous. They've supported him through this whole episode really, really well. When the accident happened, as a family, he was a little different, but initially after the operation he still really had that sense of fun. Whenever we visited was always again positive and full of a laugh and a joke, and got on really well with all the other patients in Salisbury, all the staff.
He's one of the most positive and happy people that we care for, and it is a real pleasure coming in and visiting him, really. Last year he was unfortunate enough to get a grade 3 pressure ulcer on his bottom, which is quite a significant injury. And he's the minute it happened, he did everything that we advised him to do. He stayed on the bed for pretty much 3 months, which is not an easy thing for anyone to do. And he managed it so well. He did everything that we advised him to do, and he managed to keep upbeat. And it was an inspiration to the nursing team, I'd say. We all felt that he did fantastic. And as a result of that, his outcome was fab. And he's healed really well. And we're keeping an eye on all of that, so there's no further problems at the moment. So, yeah, he's been an inspiration to us as well. He's definitely, we'll rate him very highly.
I do remember when he had the accident in Salisbury, he was quite an inspiration. He was very popular, all the nurses loved him, and, you know, and he used, I think, you know, they used to say, you know, go round and, they'd have new patients all the time with spinal injuries. And they'd say, you know, go and have a talk to them, and, you know, we wish some of your attitude would rub off onto others.
As you can see, life as a tetraplegic is hard, and without the support of both his carers and his family, Stephen couldn't survive. Stephen's life changed in a matter of seconds from one single decision, and was lucky to escape with his life. However, Stephen never stops trying and is very rarely caught unhappy or upset. So next time you want to do something adventurous or exciting, remember to be safe, and that if you take your eye off the ball for 1 second, it can change your life as you know it.
But I've never really had a down moment. I think I'm just lucky to have a good family and friends around me. So I never have a depressed moment, really. I'm always quite upbeat about life. Life's a struggle, you know, get a crash helmet. That's tough shit, isn't it?
When did we say goodbye?